Welcome aboard to the Tilt Train Gaming Podcast. My name is Eric Shermer, and here alongside me is my lovely co-host Keegan O'Brien.
What up, what up?
I am a lifelong TSM fan. Lifelong. Only been playing the game for like 4 years.
Right.
Keegan's been playing for longer than I have, slightly. Well, yeah. Because I only started in like season 4.
I started at the end of season 3.
Yeah, so not much longer, but like you're kind of the more experienced person here, or at least you are with you know more about the game than me.
I'm definitely more analytical.
Okay.
I mean we're both low elo scrubs, but
right. So what we got going on here is I'm the school pride type guy, and you're the guy who likes to actually analyze the sport.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to be talking about the obviously NALCS finals was this weekend.
Yep.
Great stuff. TSM versus Immortals, and honestly, the whole finals run, like the whole playoffs run, was a lot of fun to watch from both sides.
For sure.
Obviously, I watched more of the TSM stuff, but the Immortals versus CLG game was very entertaining to watch.
That was a lot of fun.
And honestly, some surprises coming out. I didn't expect Dignitas to win against C9. I don't think anyone expected that.
No, it was awesome to watch though.
Well, it was a 3-0 win, which is also one of my biggest surprises. Was I expected C9 to at least catch one game.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And it was kind of funny because like I didn't even watch that game, but like as I was like hearing about, because I get alerts on my phone, as I was hearing about it, I was like, really, this is happening? Like, this is just, it's, I don't know. So some surprising stuff, obviously, from all the regions, actually.
Yeah.
Coming around in the playoffs, because you were shocked that SKT managed to win the final.
Well, I was shocked because they didn't. Because, okay.
No, didn't you say they won the championship?
No, Longzhu did.
Oh, they did? Oh.
That's
well, who did they beat? Who did you tell me they beat?
They beat KT.
Oh, that's what it was. They beat KT Rolster in the finals.
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused.
This is what I was so excited about, because I also watch primarily North America, Europe, and Korea.
Yeah, I'm a North American scrub. I don't care about anything else, especially not Europe. You can fuck off with that.
That's okay.
There's no way.
For North America, I tend to root for TSM and Liquid. RIP.
Rest in pieces.
Rest in peace. And then for Europe, I tend to root for my boys, Unicorns of Love.
Oh yeah, they didn't do amazing in playoffs though.
We'll talk about it.
We'll have to get to that.
We'll talk about it. And also Misfits.
Yeah.
Have done really well.
Some interesting stuff there.
Super proud.
Misfits is a pretty new team. Actually.
Brand
new. They come in last year, or was it?
Last year.
Last summer.
Beginning of.
Or was it last spring?
It was spring.
Last spring.
Beginning of spring.
So they've only been here for 2 full rotations of the finals.
Right. And then for Korea, I tend to root for KT.
Right. Well, yeah. Obviously, because everyone hates SKT's guts.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone roots for. In Korea, everyone roots for not SKT. It doesn't really matter who you're rooting for as long as it's not SKT.
Right. A lot of people tend to root for SKT in Korea just because.
Well, everyone loves the Yankees.
Right. Yeah.
But I just can't stand that thing.
Which is funny. I'm a Red Sox guy.
It's kind of funny. I say everyone hates rooting for the Yankees, but I primarily root for basically the Yankees in North America because we haven't missed a finals.
Their
ever.
Logos look the same also.
Pretty much. Same colors, everything got going on here. Haven't missed a finals. 6 splits under our belt now. 3 in a row. The first team to do that.
Yeah.
Pretty much the team with the best record ever. Yeah. That 17-1 from last year.
Yeah. Best,
fuck you, P1, for ruining the 18-0.
The dream. We'll do it again.
We'll have to root for it to happen next spring because, and honestly, I don't think it's gonna happen ever. I don't think we're gonna get that close ever again.
I think it'll happen. I don't know if TSM will do it.
Well,
but if there's ever a team to do it in North America, it'll be TSM.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, at least as far as it's going now. So let's talk about specifically the finals match between TSM and Immortals. The finals, it was 3-1. ended up being, with Immortals only taking the second game. Now, for me, I didn't get to watch the games as they were airing, and neither did you. But you watched the games all the way through.
Right.
And I was out and about that day, and I listened to it on Twitch. Basically, I was just listening to the audio, and so obviously I didn't get to see every little thing that happened, but I did watch the entirety of the fourth game,
Right.
which is probably the most important game in that series, in my opinion, because all of the other games were pretty. I don't want to say one-sided, but they became that way as the game progressed, right? Especially in the first and second games, with the snowball growing bigger and bigger. Obviously, that's
Right.
how the game is played. But the fourth game was very interesting to me because TSM was getting destroyed, honestly. They got, what was it, 21 minutes or something? They started breaking inhibs, and they were down 7-0 and like 6,000 gold.
At 8 minutes, they were down 2,000 gold.
That's not very good. And what was the CSD at 15 for? Because it was higher on Pole Belter's side. I can tell you that much.
Right. It was to the point where after they got the first kill of the game.
Yeah.
With Immortals comp,
You were convinced that they had the game in the bag.
I looked at my girlfriend who I was watching with at the time, and I said, if TSM can't do anything, the game is over.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
Okay. So what did you think? Because they started coming back from two, in my opinion, clutch team fights at inhibs, at the middle and bot inhibs.
Right.
And then those two team fights is what allowed them to come back into the game. Like, everyone thought that first team fight was where they come back in the game, but they lost a couple. Well, I wouldn't say lost a couple of skirmishes, but there were a couple like little skirmishes where TSM had to come back with flashing health bars, right?
Right.
And so it was really that second team fight that allowed them to come back into the game. So what do you think happened, honestly? Because, I mean, at that point, losing the game and tying it up to 2-2 is not the end of the world, right?
Right.
Obviously, if you're up by 2 games, you have a little bit of a buffer. Nobody wants to lose the game and have the potential to go to a 5th game. Nobody wants to do that. But they could have just as easily conceded the game and played safe as hell and lost, which is what they did. But I think what happened was, especially, and when I was watching it was Biofrost's performance, because this morning I watched the mic check on Reddit for the finals, which was released today. We're recording this on the 5th of September, 2017, and it'll go up on the 8th, I believe, is Friday.
Yeah.
Right? So it'll go up in a couple of days, just in time for the gauntlet to start.
Mm-hmm.
Does it start this weekend, or is it next weekend? Is there a gap?
The gauntlet starts on the 8th.
So it is this weekend.
3 p.m. on the 8th.
Right.
Dig versus Fly.
Okay. Yeah, so
Which
I
we'll
think there was one specific, I think it was the second team fight. Biofrost said he was going to flash directly on Lucian.
Mm-hmm.
And then he flashed quickness. Was it quickness? I don't remember what his ultimate's called. I don't remember what Rakan's ultimate's called.
I don't know.
He flashed charmed Rakan and 2 other members. So he had a 3-man charm, which allowed the fight to start. But what happened was that, in my opinion, it was kind of wasted because they ended up, Bjergsen and Doublelift ended up getting pushed all the way back behind their inhib.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who was who was coming up in their face, but they weren't. Basically, it was tank on tank team fight at the beginning, and Sven and Hauser managed to live along with Biofrost, but Biofrost obviously isn't a priority target. So, what do you think is the reason that they won? Like, why do you think that they pulled it back? Because you said that you were you're really critical of TSM's play all the time. I love watching them play, and I can't say anything because I know I'm garbage, and so I usually just go, wow, that was really good play, and just leave it at that.
Right. I was definitely the one watching the game, just going, this is horrible.
Yeah, because when like you said that about all 3 games or all 4 games, right? Like you said that their play was just shoddy in general.
It honestly was. It was hard to watch.
Well,
With,
what was harder to watch about the finals compared to the regular season? Because I think TSM comes alive in the regular season. Obviously they do because
Mhm.
they've been to every single finals. They've placed in sixth in last place to make the finals.
Right. Yeah.
A couple of times. They haven't done it once. They've done it like twice,
Mhm.
right? And they've made every single final. So obviously there's something about TSM that is different in the finals than it is in the regular split. So what do you think makes their play from this playoffs worse than it would have been in regular season?
I'm not saying it's worse than it would have been in the regular season. It's just not the kind of play that you hope to see right before Worlds. Because
Okay.
Immortals played really well.
Right.
The thing about when a team loses
Yeah.
is, especially TSM with a huge fan base, a lot of the players, namely Double Lift, has been vocal about how a lot of the time when these teams lose, it's
Yeah.
not because they play badly. It's just because both teams play really well, but one team plays better. In this specific game,
Right.
I didn't feel confident at all in TSM's ability, namely because of Hanser and Svenskeren's just lack of
Lack of what?
consistency is
Okay.
the best word.
Okay.
I'm gonna
See, I was about to rip into you, but now I can kind of listen to that because that makes sense.
The only player that was consistent and playing his heart out every single game was Biofrost.
Okay.
Biofrost deserved that MVP.
Right.
I'm
Yeah, no,
glad he got it.
absolutely, yeah.
He was a monster in every single game.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it was Bjergsen, who was doing really well, but didn't do it. But didn't do
But he didn't
fantastic
carry
100%
solo.
of the
He didn't
game.
carry solo, is what you're saying.
Right.
Right. And then at this point, Bjergsen doesn't do that anymore.
Right. No.
He doesn't carry solo. Like that's
No.
not how the team works anymore. Like maybe way back when they had Santorin and Dyrus still on the team and
Mhm.
with Les Boy and Wild Turtle,
Right.
maybe he could carry that game. But that just doesn't happen anymore with Double Lift and Svenskeren and Hanser on the team anymore. That just doesn't happen.
Right.
But see, the thing is, I think that Hanser and Svenskeren were at least until the 4th game, very consistent, very good. Because Immortals tried that top tower dive 3 times.
Right.
Right? They tried it in the first, the 3rd, and the 4th games. They didn't try it in the 2nd game for some reason.
In the 4th game, they got a triple.
The 4th game, it worked.
In the 4th game, they did it twice and got the first blood on Hanser.
Yeah.
And then the second time they did it in that game, they got a triple.
Okay, but here's the thing: only in the 4th game did it work, right?
Right.
They especially in the 3rd game, Hanser countered it amazingly with that with the Gnar play.
Yeah.
He managed to kill Pobelter immediately out of the bat.
Was it Gnar or Renekton?
No, I think it was Gnar.
Okay.
I don't know if it was the 3rd
Actually,
game.
I have the.
But I remember.
I have the Pixen things.
I remember watching.
It was.
What game was it?
In the 3rd game, he played Cho'Gath. In the 2nd game, he played Renekton, and in the 1st game, he played Gnar.
Okay, so it was the 1st game then. Was Pobelter playing Corki, or was that the 4th game?
In the 1st game, Pobelter was playing Galio.
Okay, I don't remember.
He was playing Corki in the 2nd game.
I don't remember what it was, but he managed to kill Pobelter, who was playing Corki.
Right.
From tower shots because he managed to take tower aggro.
Yeah,
right?
that was in the
not
2nd
only
game.
which
The
not
Renekton
only
outplay.
was a poor play from Pobelter for taking tower aggro first when he had Xmithy with him. It was not only a poor play on his part, but it was also an excellent play from Hanser, who managed to dodge almost all of the CC.
Right.
Like literally, I was blown away. Like
Yeah.
the fancy feet, it was fucking beautiful.
Right.
That happened. He and Svenskeren managed to pull those things off twice, and it, if that's not consistent, I don't know what it is.
I mean, they're able to pull it off twice, but out of 4 games, in each game lasting 40 minutes, a 10-second outplay, that's, I mean, to play well is to be expected.
Okay.
We have to expect these players to play to the best of their abilities.
Right.
And in my opinion, it primarily Sven. I was really disappointed with the way Sven was playing, and I mean, if you watch TSM's face as they're coming off of the games, like coming off of their third game,
Right.
you can tell that they're disappointed because they know how bad they've been playing, and they even said like, yeah, I didn't play that well. Bjergsen always says that, but he actually played better than most of the members. What I want to point to in TSM's win was, I know you hate it, but picks and bans.
Oh God, I hate talking about picks and bans.
I know.
And well, see, the thing about picks and bans for me is like, I don't know what it is about picks and bans, but I just feel like I just feel like it's not important, right? Like obviously it's important what champion you pick, but I feel like the end result is going to be the same anyway. Like no matter who picks first or who picks last, everyone's still going to be playing whatever champion they're playing.
I understand that, but it seems that way because, I mean, Bjergsen he had constantly 7 mid laners banned against him.
Okay, no, that's true. I did notice that was fucking crazy. Like, especially, what was it in the last game? Didn't they have something like 7 bans?
In the second game, including the one Cassiopeia ban on TSM side, there were 7, and including the Corki that was picked first by Immortals. Not first, but before Bjergsen. Including that pick, there were 7 mid laners banned against Bjergsen, and he still got a counter pick by playing Kassadin.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. But as picks and bans were starting, in game number 4, they decided that TSM decided that, we can't give them Kog'Maw, but for some reason they wanted to ban the Cass and the Callista because they can't put Cody-san on Cassiopeia, or they can't put Cody-san on Callista, which I think is very smart. First pick that Immortals has, even the casters, if you listen to them, they're saying, okay, well, he's going to go for Rakan.
Yeah.
I called that.
No, they didn't. They didn't go for it.
Right. I called like they're going to go for Rakan because it's, for one, Olay.
Yeah.
And he's extremely versatile. It's like how people, it's like how SKT first picks mid lane sometimes because Faker can play any matchup.
That's true, yeah.
Olay can play any matchup. So the idea there was
Olay's...
put him on Rakan,
right?
The playmaking support, put your best player on Rakan, and force TSM to either pick Xayah, and then Cody-san can counter pick the bot lane, or if they don't pick Xayah, then you get the Xayah Rakan bot lane. Instead, Immortals, in my opinion, screws up and picks Xayah first instead of the Rakan.
Right.
Giving Rakan to Bjergsen, or giving Rakan to Biofrost.
Right.
And so TSM goes Trist
Rakan, which is a pretty fairly good combo.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Even though you get the nerfed movement speed from Rakan, even though
Rakan's still a god.
Yeah, even though he doesn't jump from as far as the distance on that shield. But the thing about that is I would rather take the support with no Xayah over Xayah with no Rakan, because Xayah's damage is massively decreased when she can't get that W.
Exactly. That's why everyone was saying that Immortals is going to first pick Rakan.
Yeah.
Then Immortals gets Olay on Alistar, which in itself is terrifying, right?
Yeah, no,
'Cause
Ole's Alistar is really fucking good.
He's
I'm
insane
not gonna
on
lie.
he's insane on Alistar, which isn't great to see. I would have preferred to, I don't know, maybe ban anything, like any pocket picks from Ole instead of banning the Cassiopeia against Pobelter, because I have a lot of confidence in Bjergsen's ability, but that's neither here nor there. My main issue with all of this, because Immortals first picking Zaya is entirely Immortals fucking up.
Yeah.
My main problem is after it gets past the second bans.
Yeah.
We have.
So are you talking those initial 6, or are you talking like?
Right before we pick Gragas, right?
Okay.
We have top lane and jungle open.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Sejuani or Gragas for sure, because those are the only junglers that are being played right now.
What about Zac? Zac's really good, and didn't Sven play Zac in one of the games?
Yes, but Zac against a Alistar Zaya isn't very good.
That's true.
Because you hop in, Alistar hits
Yeah.
you out, Zaya just
Yeah.
dodges everything.
Yeah.
My main problem was that we gave Xsmithy Sejuani after he hard carried the other
Right.
games with Sejuani.
Right. Game 2. Didn't he play Zizwani in Game 2?
Yeah, he hard carried that game, and he hard carried
Yeah.
in the I don't want to say hard carried because everyone on Immortals is playing really well.
Okay.
But he was definitely playing the best out of everyone on Immortals as Sejuani, especially in Game 4 where we got 7 kills against us.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the reason I'm gonna disagree with you on that.
Sejuani was in every one of those kills.
Okay, that's true, but then here's the reason that I think that picks and bans aren't as important as you think they are. Especially, it's absolutely possible to win a game in picks and bans. I
Right.
understand that. Sometimes shit just happens, but the thing is, and I think that Riot is doing a really good job of forming the game this way, is that it shouldn't be guaranteed to win, and it obviously wasn't from
Right.
what we can see in Game 4. He got Sejuani. You know, they got most of the picks they wanted. They put all Ole on Alistar, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And they still managed to come away with a loss there, right? So obviously, if you hunker down and play the game as well as you can win the game, obviously.
Right.
It doesn't matter what your team comp is. You can still win if you play it right.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to disagree with you about picks and bans thing.
I understand that. It's just that in the only region where you really win for sure in pick and bans is Korea, because they're just on a way higher level.
Well, even then, like, we'll see. But the thing about that is that should be the least the case, because if they're on such a higher level, then they should be able to come back from anything.
Right. But I mean, a lot of their skill levels are closer to each other.
Right.
What I think won TSM the game was honestly TSM's experience with playing from behind.
We don't have a lot of experience in playing from behind, though.
They have so much. Like, if you listen to the interviews, and especially, and even all the casters talking about it, they even say, like, yeah, we know more than most other North American teams about playing from behind.
Okay.
Especially
Well,
when,
see,
especially
okay,
when,
no. TSM doesn't have a lot of experience playing from behind. They have a lot of experience playing from behind where they turn it around. There's a difference
Right.
between playing from behind and losing the game and playing from behind and turning it.
Just
That's the difference.
Just playing from behind in general, because it's obviously you're not going to play from behind and be like, all right, how do we lose this? No.
Well, no.
when you
I
play
mean,
from
no, I
behind-
mean, but what I'm saying is you don't learn anything if you are playing from behind for a long time, and then you just end up losing. You don't. If you turn it around, you end up figuring out ways that games get turned around.
Right.
Right.
That's
And the reason that a lot of teams don't have a lot of that is because once they get behind, they just stay behind.
right. A lot of teams do, but TSM practices that. TSM makes sure that when they get behind, because especially at Worlds, where we want to do well, they're gonna get behind. Immortals was constantly either even with us or ahead of us in terms of gold.
Right.
Especially in say Game 3, where they were ahead of us in gold for most of the time.
Okay.
Up to the last couple team fights where we ended up winning.
Right.
Playing from behind is really important, and a lot of our members know how to play from behind, which is what ended up winning us the game. Way back to what you were saying before about the team fights.
Yeah.
I think that
Game 4 team fights.
Yeah, I think what won them the game was individual outplays or individual experience, and yeah, I guess outplays is a good word for that.
Okay.
Like with the first kill that they got, or where they were defending bot inhib.
Right.
They got a Doublelift was able to defend here. I'm trying to look at it. We can cut this out.
No, I can't cut this out.
You can't?
Well, I mean, I can, but like, there's no point.
You can cut this out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, their rotations are insane.
Yeah, well, it's not hard to rotate when you're inside your base.
Right, but like being able to rotate and also, I guess insane isn't the right word because it's how you're supposed to play.
Right.
But being able to rotate and effectively poke them down and look for fights.
Yeah.
I mean, they ended up pushing out their lanes and really resetting the lanes from the Immortals Baron, which is another thing that kind of upset me about TSM's objective control.
Right.
It wasn't great.
Well, okay.
That one game where Hanser was Cho'Gath and he could have stolen Baron, but he went for the kill on Cody-san. That
right.
I didn't.
I can agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
That was kind of a mistake.
And I mean, I'm not expecting Sven to steal anything because he notoriously hasn't been that great at it.
Well, I don't know about that. He has had his shining moments, but I guess they are few and far between.
Right. But when they got their first couple kills, when they got their first 3 kills from first 1 kill, I'm sorry, from mid lane, it was all because of Biofrost's engage with his ult.
Right.
He dashed onto, I believe, 3 of them.
Right. Yeah, that second team fight at the bottom inhib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, the team fight at the mid lane. They ended up getting
one
initially.
Mid-inhib. Yeah. Okay, this is the first team fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first one. This is like when
this is
we
after
were
they
real
got
close.
This is after they got most of the towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got one initially onto Cody-san and then chased for 2 more.
Yeah.
I think that was huge.
Well, obviously, because that's where that's what turned around the fight. That's what turned around the game.
Right.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say that was the point you could pinpoint. This is where TSM is coming back into the game.
No,
I think that
sure
was
not.
the second team fight at bottom inhib.
Okay.
The second team fight at bottom inhib starts a chain reaction which goes through the entire game. After that, Immortals completely loses track of what they're playing, of what they're doing, and they completely lose track of how to keep the game in control. And it honestly just looked like they were scrambling around, like just looking for anything. They were like, okay, they're over here, we gotta fight. They just took fights that they shouldn't have taken. They didn't focus on using their advantages and using the weaknesses specifically of TSM and as much progress that they had made on the map. Because if you look after that second team fight, there are 0 wards on the other side for Immortals. Like, even though they had literally the entire map
I think
free reign, they just didn't take advantage of it.
I think what brought it back was the team fight at Baron. That TSM baited Baron, and it was only 3 of Immortals that were there to fight and they ended up getting the jump on Cody's son, making him use his ult, and then sticking around to clean it up. And what was amazing to me is that none of them died. Like,
Yeah.
none of TSM died.
Yeah.
Despite their super low health
There's
bars.
so many
Which
low
was
health bars.
mainly double
And
lift.
they managed to go off on Baron, and
Yeah.
no one died just getting executed from Baron.
Right. Double lift was able to heal up, so was Svenskeren.
Well,
I believe...
see, the thing about Double Lift is he had what items did he have at that point? Like, he had at least one lifesteal item. Like, there's no fucking way he didn't.
Right, yeah. What I think... it's another outplay where they get the engage on Cody-san, and then Double Lift saved them with his ult.
Yeah.
By hitting Flame away, because Flame would have killed at least...
Flame would have murdered everyone.
Flame would have killed at least 2 with the Flame Spitter.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't very happy with the way these games were, primarily for what I said about the lack of consistency. I mean, they're going to face way harder opponents at Worlds
Obviously.
than Immortals.
Obviously.
And I'm happy that they could come back. I'm happy that they only dropped 1 game. I'm happy that they won the series and broke all the records. But after waiting for about a month or so, however long it was for between the end of the split and their games against Immortals and Dig, I just wasn't as impressed.
You wanted it. I feel like you wanted it to be a blowout, but it wasn't a blowout. Is that the problem?
Not even as hard of a blowout. Because if you look at 3-1, you're just like, oh wow, yeah, TSM destroyed.
Yeah.
But I mean, Immortals gave them a fight, and I think Immortals should have won a lot of fights that they just didn't.
Yeah.
I think most of the reason why TSM came back in the last game was Immortals not knowing what to do with their lead and underestimating the individual outplays.
Yeah. I feel like Immortals didn't. I feel like at a certain point, especially in that last game, maybe obviously I can't understand what's going on in their heads, right? But maybe they thought like they had too much of an advantage, you know, or like they thought that the game couldn't be ended, and they just thought that if they just brute forced it, there's no way they would lose it.
They were probably just trying to play it slow, which makes sense. It's what you're supposed to do, especially in a game that important. You play it slow with your lead,
right?
Make sure you don't blow it.
Right.
But TSM knew that that's what they were doing, and
okay.
I guess just read them like a book.
Okay. All right. Well, coming off from that, so now we know since now that North America's finals are over, Europe's finals are over. Both of those regions are about to start their gauntlets this week. Korea's finals are over.
Korea's gauntlet is over.
Gauntlet is over. Korea's completely locked in.
Right.
China is, I don't know if they're there yet or not. They should be soon if they aren't.
Right.
So we know most of the teams that are going into.
Most of them.
Most
yes.
of the teams, and we know how the pool picking works.
Yeah.
You know, and so we know kind of who could be matched up with who, right? What do you think is going to happen this Worlds? Because I'm super excited for Worlds this year, because last year Europe was garbage. Right?
Yeah.
Europe
sure.
is still garbage in my opinion. Europe is like garbage, like bottom tier region, like even worse than like some of the wild cards, honestly. Like, I don't understand how any of you European fans can show your faces these days. It's just,
I mean, a wild card team beat CLG last year. So
yeah, and a wild card team also beat EDG last year.
A wild card also, yeah, that
so
did happen.
So like, I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed that wild card is like a hidden gem, you know, like they're really good.
Wild card is gonna win Worlds. We know.
Oh, obviously, you know, obviously Kira is gonna come back. He's just gonna stomp everyone. He's gonna slit Faker's throat. It's
BRTT is just gonna.
Obviously,
yeah.
Obviously, what I'm saying is, I felt like last year Europe was garbage.
Right.
So I didn't even consider them a threat, and it turned out that they weren't. Right? They did nothing happened. G2 got fucked.
G2 is notoriously bad at.
G2 got fucked.
Yeah.
and it, honestly, it just turned into the Korea show, and which it does a lot. But the thing about last year, I felt like some other teams where there was a larger gap. But I feel like this year, after what we saw at MSI, and after what we saw with Rift Rivals and all the other regions competing against each other in that specific way, I feel like I don't want to say the gap is closing because that is way too cliche to say, and obviously the gap will never fully be closed.
I think it is.
You think it's closed, like complete?
No, I definitely no. I think it is closing.
Okay. I didn't want to say that because it was too cliche, but I agree with you. I'm really excited about this year because I feel like, and I don't want to say that North America has a chance, but I do want to say that North America has a chance to get to the knockout round, which we have not done for a long time.
What, semifinals?
No, I'm talking like out of group stage, which
we
happened.
got a group stage last year with Cloud9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You're right.
But we lost in semis.
We got obliterated. Yeah.
Against the team that ended up being second.
Well, that's true, but still, even then, like North America gets like one team out.
Right.
That's it. You know, I think
that's the expectation.
I think that this year could be the year that we get at least one team out, and if that one team does get out, they will continue to go.
Right.
Or if we get multiple teams out, I think it could happen, especially with TSM and Immortals being on it, and the potential for, God, I don't know, so many freaking teams like CLG. I honestly, if CLG becomes the third representative for North America, I think we have a really good shot.
So, do we want to talk about the North American Gauntlet?
Sure, go ahead.
All right.
Give me the rundown. Show me what's up.
So September 8th.
Yeah.
On Friday, we got Dignitas against FlyQuest.
Right.
Best of 5.
Uh-huh.
What are we thinking there?
I think FlyQuest is going to get dicked on.
I hope that FlyQuest gets dicked on.
I hope FlyQuest gets dicked on too, but I don't think Dignitas is going to win. I think either is Cloud9 in the gauntlet or not.
Cloud9 is finals in Gauntlet.
Okay, either Cloud9 or CLG is going to win
the whole thing. That's also what I was saying.
It's either going to be Cloud9 or CLG. I don't think that Dignitas has a shot. However, I do think that Dignitas can make it to the end.
So you think Dignitas will beat FlyQuest?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
FlyQuest is going to get fucking shit on.
I hope so. I don't think it really matters too much because the winner of that goes on to face CLG.
Yeah. Which
I think CLG is going to win that.
Fucking win.
And then hopefully CLG, but the winner of that faces Cloud9. I hope it's CLG. I think it's going to be CLG.
Yeah, I think it's going to be CLG too.
I think it's going to be very close though. I wouldn't be surprised if Cloud9 ends up upsetting.
I won't be surprised if Cloud9 ends up winning and making it to Worlds. However, I'm going to be slightly more scared for North America's chances if Cloud9 does make it. Because nothing against Cloud9, I just feel like CLG is the better bet at this point. Like I just feel like CLG has more they're a more solid team,
especially top lane,
and especially with their bot lane as well. Nothing against Sneaky, but who the hell's their support on Cloud9?
You kidding, Smoothie?
Yeah.
Smoothie's a beast.
And he's really good, but I just don't feel like Smoothie and Sneaky blend as well as Aphromoo and Stixay do. I feel like Aphromoo and Stixay have a more cohesive bot lane, right? And I feel like Smoothie is better with the rest of the team. Like Smoothie is great at applying his talent to the entire team.
Right, for sure.
Aphromoo is great at applying his talent to one specific person, which I think CLG needs.
Right. I agree
with
what you're saying about CLG winning. If Cloud9 ends up winning,
right.
I also don't think that they'll do as well as if CLG ends up, but we don't know. I think Cloud9 tends to be a team where its individual skill is what shines.
Yeah, but that doesn't win games anymore.
No, it doesn't.
That does not win games. And that was also kind of what annoyed me about the entire summer split.
Right.
Because all of the casters, like Riot was trying to push Jensen's gonna carry, Jensen's gonna fucking He's gonna smash everybody. But they ended up in like what, 5th, 6th place at the
fourth,
end,
I believe.
whatever, like
Yeah.
fuck off place, because they just, and they were way lower than that at some point in the season. Like they were
Right.
super low, and they managed to claw back. But that's the thing about the way the game is now, and I really appreciate the way the game is now. It's a team game, and obviously it's a team game because you have 5
Right.
players in the same team.
Mhm.
But it's not possible for, and that's why I think that North America and all the other regions have a better shot this year, because it's not like Faker can solo carry anymore.
Right.
He just can't do that. It's
No.
just literally impossible
Which was
for
shown,
Faker to win the game
which was
by
shown
himself.
in the games against Longshoe.
Yeah, which and I think it's great because I feel like that's what SKT relies on a lot. Is they have all of these great players. They're like we're gonna get the best players in the world, but then all we're gonna do is we're gonna tell them, listen to Faker. They just say here, we have the greatest quarterback in the world, throw it to Faker.
Right.
Just always throw it to Faker.
Right.
And that's literally their only strategy.
I think that I think that it's getting much harder for the solo carry team comps and team strategies to excel.
Right.
As you were saying, as shown in the games against KT, SKT is one of the teams that still relies on that. I mean, understandably so, because Faker is the best player in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a team of all the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But in the series against KT, it mostly just ended up being, all right, Faker, you're playing Fizz, land your ult. If you don't land your ult,
we lose the game.
we give up
Yeah.
a tower and an inhib.
Yeah.
And
if you miss your ultimate in the team fight, we're fucked.
That's exactly what it was.
It was a whole team fight.
I think KT definitely could have won that game if Crown had ended up playing better than he did.
Yeah, I don't know.
And ended up buying Azonias or anything to counter.
I feel like he had the same thing that I do, where I'm like, okay, Zonius is great, but I don't need it first item, you know? Like, I want to build this first. And then once you, like, invest your money into that, you don't want to unbuy and, like, redo it, you know?
But then again, these are the best players in the
That's
world.
true, but, like, I just feel like that's universal, man. Like, as soon as you start buying something, you just gotta finish it.
Yeah, I called him Crown. It's Pawn.
Whatever.
Crown is the mid laner for Seal or
Get off my podcast, man.
But yeah, I don't think that SKT will win Worlds.
I don't think they'll win.
I'm putting it down right now.
You're gonna call it right now. You're gonna put $100 on the table.
I'm hoping with money.
With how much money? How much money are you betting that SKT does not win Worlds?
How much that they don't win Worlds?
That they do not win Worlds.
They don't just.
They straight up do not win.
I'll say $75.
$75.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. With a maximum of 100, or like just in general.
Max 100.
Maximum. Okay, so that's pretty. So like 3/4.
Yeah.
75% chance they don't win. Okay, that's pretty good. And I don't think they're gonna win either. However, I don't think it's gonna be that close, because
I think it'll be close.
I don't think it'll be that large of a margin that they don't win, you know? Because I don't know what it is about SKT, but it seems like no matter what they do, they just turn it on at Worlds or like any international tournament. But see, here's the thing.
They're 18-3 in best of 5.
I know.
Since 2015.
And it's insane. And they always manage to win, right?
Yeah.
They always manage to, and they've won Worlds how many times in a row now? Twice.
Twice in a row, 3 times total.
3 times in general, yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just feel like I don't know what it is about SKT. I don't follow the Korean scene as closely as you do. I don't know what they're doing, but I know for a fact that every single time they come into an international tournament, they do something. They do something different than they do in regular season. I don't know what it is that's different, but they do something significantly different, and I think that it gives them a better chance. I don't think they will
their playoffs
win.
buff is insane.
I don't think they will win. However, I don't see any other team winning. Right? See, here's the thing. Like, if I were to say, you know, if I were to talk about the North American Championship and be like TSM isn't gonna win, I could say Immortals will win. I don't think I can say that about any other team that's going to Worlds. I don't think I can say I'm confident enough that any other team has a shot.
Confidence, maybe not, but I think if anyone, my first team to go to is obviously Longzhu.
Okay.
But the only issue with Longzhu is...
See, I would like to say it's KT, but I don't think... KT's not going.
KT's not going because Samsung 3-0'd them, surprisingly.
They got fucked.
Yeah, I think KT's a better team. But
KT's obviously... honestly, for me, it's Longzhu, and then KT, and then SKT in Korea.
Right. I think Longzhu... I think it's... I don't know, what are we judging this off of?
Just regular season.
Regular season, it was Longzhu, KT, and SKT.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like the top 3 teams in Korea would be.
Right.
If you had to pick anyone to go to Worlds, I would pick Longzhu as first seed, KT as second seed, and SKT as third seed.
Yeah.
There's no other pick there. The problem is they just got fucked by by 3 games that were their off games.
Samsung going, in my opinion, is the equivalent of if Cloud9 beats CLG.
Yeah.
They're
not a bad team.
They're not a bad team.
Probably not the best team to put in that spot.
Samsung can definitely tilt.
Oh, yeah.
Which is if you get you get Crown behind, he will tilt almost immediately.
Yeah, off the face of the earth. Like he tilts hard. He tilts harder than I do when I play jungle.
Right.
Like, I don't understand how you fucking play jungle. I can't do it. It's the worst fucking thing because you spend all this time farming and then you gank and then nothing happens. Nothing happens, and I'm like, how can you just go back to farming? I just can't do it. Which is why I love playing bot lane, because as soon as I get that first tower, I'm like, all right, it's time to kill. I just go out and I kill people now.
I want to talk about Europe for just a little bit here.
Oh God, don't bore me.
The finals are coming up, or well, the gauntlet. Same exact.
So we already know that who's going. Who is confirmed to go? Who won Summer Split? Misfits won.
No. Misfits made the run to finals from 6th place, or 5th place, I believe, and then lost to G2.
So G2 is going.
G2's going. Misfits is going.
Okay. Misfits has enough points.
Right.
Okay.
And the thing about Misfits just played upset for most of the teams. Like
That's
Unicorns, true. Fnatic, H2K.
I didn't expect Fnatic to do that well. Fnatic hasn't been doing that well in the past couple of years.
That's what made this past split so crazy, because they were by far, in my opinion, they were the best team in Europe.
Who, Fnatic?
Yeah.
Fnatic hasn't been the best team in Europe for like 2 years.
You haven't been paying attention.
That's true. I don't really give a shit about Europe.
Right. They've been so good this past split, but
ever since Huni left Fnatic, I just have not given a single shit about Fnatic.
I just want to put down my predictions. H2K Splice is the first game. I think H2K's got that in the bag.
Right.
Easy. H2K is, in my opinion, the European Cloud9. I hate to see them win, but they're a good team.
Yeah. Hate to see them win, but you love to see them go.
Unicorns, H2K is the next one, which, in my opinion,
that's gonna get you.
That's a rivalry, in my opinion.
That's gonna be a really interesting game to watch for you.
On
the other hand, will be sitting on the couch snoring.
Right.
Because I don't know what it is about Europe, but it just seems like something about their playstyle is just so much more boring.
Yeah.
Than North America, which is why I love North America, because it's all blood all the time.
Right. I can see
truly the American way.
I can see Unicorns or H2K winning. Like either or. I think it's going to be 3-2 with either team.
Okay.
H2K tends to choke in really important matches.
Right.
Unicorns does also. Recently they haven't been doing well, which has been very upsetting, but we'll see what happens. I hope it's Unicorns.
Right.
If Unicorns go
right
against Fnatic, I feel like Fnatic is going to win.
Okay.
If H2K go, I think H2K is going to end up going to Worlds.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
So, on a scale from 1 to 10,
how hard is G2 gonna get fucked this year? Because they got fucked real hard last year.
I think Europe in general is gonna get screwed
Obliterated.
even more
Obliterated.
because last year they had G2, H2K, and Splice.
Yeah.
All of the teams looked really good going into it. Splice especially looked better than H2K, even though they were a third place seed.
Yeah.
Everyone agreed that they looked really good going into it.
Mm-hmm.
All of them got fucked, except for Splice. Splice did really
Splice,
well.
but Splice got like pseudo fucked.
Splice
Like, they
and
got soft
Splice,
core
Splice and
fucked.
H2K did better than
Yeah.
expected, but I don't think
and last year everyone was like, oh, G2, G2, G2,
Right.
G2,
Right.
and then just every game they just fucking fell apart.
Yeah,
They just it was like it was their first time on stage. It was like they literally had never played the game before.
I think most other teams have gotten better, while the European teams have ended up getting. I don't think they've gotten worse. I think
They
stayed
stayed
about,
the same.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that I think
and-
Europe is just gonna not do very well.
No,
Maybe,
Europe never does well.
No, especially
Europe is the new NA.
especially not with a team as new as Misfits going. I love Misfits with a fiery passion. Like, I love Hansama, I love Power of Evil. I've been following Power of Evil
Fuck that guy.
throughout. I was
hate that guy.
I was an Origin fan before
No, I know
before
you
they got
were.
relegated.
I know you were.
And then I was like, hey, Misfits look cool because Power of Evil's on here. I've been a fan of every team
No,
Power of
so-
Evil's
yeah,
been
yeah,
on.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love that guy.
So you're not a Misfits fan. You're a Power of Evil fan. That's
No,
what it is.
I'm a Misfits fan because I love everybody on that team also.
That's just an excuse. Don't you fucking lie to me.
But I don't think they're gonna do very well.
No, I don't think.
I
they
think
do well
I
either.
think NA hopefully will.
I think now. See what I want to.
I think TSM and definitely Immortals will do well. I feel like.
You don't think TSM? You don't feel as confident as TSM.
I think TSM will do well,
Right.
but it's more of a coin toss.
Okay.
I think Flame for Immortals
Right.
isn't gonna do that well.
Here's the thing.
I think Mithy
Yeah.
and Cody Sun and Ole.
Well, obviously. Well, here's. I want
Will
to talk about
carry.
Flame for a little bit. I want to talk about Flame. Obviously, big name, household name,
Right.
pretty much in the world of esports. You know,
Yeah.
he's like
He's
synonymous.
He's been on the downswing.
But he's as synonymous with top lane as Mad Life is with support. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, you think of
Both have been on the downswing. And
Well, that's fine, and you know they've been playing the game for a long time, right? I understand that obviously you get better, but then you reach a peak, and then you just it's kind of a downswing from there, right?
Right.
And it doesn't mean they're bad, and it's just like Piglet won the national he won the world championship, right?
Right.
But then he went, after that was his peak, right? And obviously it was his peak. He won the world championship.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, he was just downhill from there, and now he's on Liquid, and he sucks big old dick.
Yeah.
Flame, I feel like definitely isn't gonna be impacting the game nearly as much as he needs to,
No.
right? And which is why I feel like Immortals has less of a chance than TSM. I feel like TSM has a stronger push coming into Worlds, not just because Haunter, in my opinion, is better than Flame.
I think Haunter is better than
you can
Flame.
talk stats all day. I don't
Mhm.
care what you're saying. I think Haunter is better than Flame.
I think he's better than Flame, but not by a lot.
And I'm not saying he needs to be.
Mhm.
The thing is, I think he works better with his team.
Right, yeah, for
Is what's
sure.
definitely important. Because Flame can carry a game if he needs to. He can put that motherfucker on Rumble and he will wipe everyone out.
He debatably lost. He was winning them that
Yeah,
fourth game.
you could say
but
that he lost them that game.
exactly.
You could say.
He missed.
Absolutely.
He missed all
Whiffed
the important Rumble ults
Yeah.
that ended up.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
the reason I think that TSM is going to do better than Immortals at Worlds is because I feel like TSM not only has the structure of their coaching staff,
Mm-hmm.
right? Immortals is kind of shaky because they're a new team. Newer team. They've been
Newer
around
team.
for a little while.
Right.
Obviously, they've kind of figured it out, right? But
Mhm.
TSM has been there since the start. They pretty much have pioneered all of how a team works in North America, right?
Right.
I think that reason and the fact that these guys have been working with each other and playing with each other for so long will give them a better shot. Like the reason that
I
Meh.
tend to agree.
I'm trying to think. The reason that I'm just gonna make a stupid analogy here. The reason that a lot of teams, like I played soccer in high school, right?
Mhm.
The reason a lot of teams won a lot is because they had players that had been playing with each other since they were in kindergarten,
Right.
right? Those teams were the best teams because they've been playing with each other for so long.
Sure.
Okay, that's what TSM has been doing. They've been playing with each other for so long. They understand how their team works, and they understand as a whole. They think of their team as a singular unit, whereas Immortals thinks of their team as 5 separate units that work together.
Right.
Right? I know that sounds stupid and cliche, and it makes no sense, but it does in my brain. So shut the hell up.
I think that North America has the best shot this year for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to say that about every year. I'd like to say that about next year. I'd like to say that every year,
Right.
North America gets better every single year, but obviously it's not going to happen like that. It doesn't ever happen like that.
LMS, I'm pretty sure Hong Kong Attitude is going instead of Rays Gaming.
What
Which-
the hell is up with all these Chinese names? Like the
Which-
Chinese team names are
They're
hilarious. to
funny.
me.
They're really
They're
funny.
fucking like Royal Never Give Up from last year.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
So from
Who comes up with these?
I don't know. Flash Wolves and AHQ
Yeah.
are going for sure for the LMS.
Yeah.
And then Rays Gaming was third place, and right up there with Flash Wolves and AHQ this
Yeah.
entire year.
Yeah.
Hong Kong Attitude was 5th in spring and 6th in summer, but they ended up going through the gauntlet and 3-0ing Rays. So I'm pretty sure Hong Kong Attitude is going to end up going
Okay.
over Rays. I'm not entirely sure because I don't think it's been confirmed yet.
Right.
But that would immediately put the LMS at a disadvantage, like how Europe is at disadvantage with Misfits going.
Right.
So I think Europe is fairly, or not Europe. I think LMS is not as strong as they could be. WE is going for the LPL.
For Taiwan, yeah.
Yeah. I think,
Obviously,
I-
WWE is going. WE goes every year.
I think it's WE in 3rd, but well, actually, I'm not sure. I don't think this has been confirmed either. But Royal and EDG are for sure going.
Right.
And then I'm pretty sure that because Invictus won the 3rd place match, but then in the 2-round gauntlet that the LPL had, WE ended up winning against Invictus.
Right.
So I think I think that's also the same as if Cloud9 beat CLG.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we're having a lot of similarities with these regions. Is like there's the 2 top teams that are definitely going, and we know they're going, and they're the best team that's going.
Right.
And then the 3rd team can be kind of interchangeable with 2 other teams. Honestly, I feel like if there were 4 teams, everything would be a lot more competitive, right? Because I feel like at this point, every region has 4 teams that are good, and then everyone else.
I kind of want to take back that I said that it puts them at a disadvantage because WE was doing as well as EDG and RNG.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know. The only comparison we have with that region against anyone else was when they were against in Rift Rivals when they were against Korea. But
That's true.
that was a stomp on Korea's side.
Obviously.
Similar to how it was a stomp
On
on
North
NA's
America's
side.
side, yeah, boy.
I
I cannot tell you how excited, like how I was just
It was
losing my
great.
mind. It was awesome to watch.
against NA or against Europe, I'm pretty sure NA is currently something like 22-7 or something like that in games against Europe,
Yeah.
something like that. It I think Europe. I think NA is going to do really well this year at
Yeah.
Worlds.
I really hope they do. Really
I
hope
think I think going into it, North America and China are very close,
Yeah.
and closer than a lot of other people think. And then obviously Korea on the top. Uh, with I think it's a toss up between SKT and Longju, but
Yeah.
I do think they can be beaten. I've never said that.
Now,
I never said that SKT is completely
no.
unbeatable.
No,
will
no, no,
always
no,
win.
obviously they're not. And they never have been. It's just, I just don't feel like we've figured out what their weakness is. Like, I feel like they're, that super villain where we just can't figure out
Right.
what the fuck makes them tick. And
They're a phenomenal team for sure.
obviously, and they have the best players in the world, obviously. And there's a reason that they're the best team in the world, and there's a reason that everyone wants to play for them.
Yeah.
They're like the Real Madrid of the fucking esports world, right?
Right.
Everyone wants to play with them. That's what you dream as when you're a little kid playing soccer growing up, and you
Yeah.
want to be a pro. You dream of playing for Arsenal or Tottenham or Real Madrid or all these big teams. But the thing about SKT is, I feel like they just kind of win. They don't like.
Their picks and bans are phenomenal. It's all Coma.
I guess. Yeah.
I think what they're doing. A lot of teams will have a player on the team that is the shot caller, which the shot callers tend to not be as
mechanically skilled.
Right. Yeah.
Is that the word you want to use?
Yes.
Okay.
Like say Lemon Nation.
Oh yeah. Okay. No.
On
Absolutely.
Cloud9.
Lemon and Yellow Star when he played on TSM.
Right.
And everyone else who.
And when he was on Fnatic. Even.
Yeah. And they're not the best players, but they're the best decision makers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like. Do you feel like the SKT doesn't have that? Is that the problem?
I feel like their shot caller or the smartest person on their team is Coma.
Right.
I think that he teaches them a lot about how to play the game like no one else does, and then the members themselves have the mechanics. They have the best mechanics in their role. That's why they win. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing. Obviously, they know better than anyone else what they're doing. I think Coma helps the most with that, though.
Okay.
Because there's a difference between... I think I've talked to you about it before, but recently, Parth, the coach for TSM,
Yeah.
was
No,
on...
he went on the esports podcast.
Yeah, he was on the Dive podcast.
Yeah.
With Jat, Kobe, and Azael.
Yeah.
And he talked about how some coaches are way more influential and way more helpful to a team than others.
Yeah.
He said that the coaches for like him and Reaper are way more influential, or are less influential. I'm sorry, than to the team than Zig is for CLG.
Yeah.
Or Song is for Immortals.
Yeah.
Like some teams need their coach for sure. Some
See, the
teams
problem is you can't bring your
don't
coach
necessarily.
into the game,
Right.
and maybe that's where SKT is losing it.
I don't think that's it.
Right.
I think other teams are just getting better.
Okay. All right.
I think Coma is. I think Coma deserves all the wins that team has ever gotten. Everyone on that team is phenomenal. I don't tend to I don't find myself rooting for that team. The only person I really love on that team is Peanut.
Mm-hmm.
I like all the members. I want to see someone else win.
Yeah, well, everyone wants to see someone else win.
Coma is by far the greatest coach that the game has ever seen, though.
Okay. All right, well, to wrap it up, I think I want to talk about, do you think out of the three teams from each region, who gets out of group stage, who doesn't get out of group stage? Right now we get who we know is going. Who do you think think's getting out of group stage? I think TSM
and Immortals are both going to get out of group
Both?
stage. Both of them.
Okay.
I don't think whoever the third team ends up being. I think if CLG or C9. I don't think they're going to get out.
No.
I think Longzhu is definitely going to get out. SKT is going to get out. I don't think whoever the heck the third team is going to get out. I don't think they're going to make it.
Right. Samsung.
I think. I want to say that. Who's going from China?
China. Let's see. From the LPL, we have RNG, EDG, WE, and then from the LMS, we have Flash Wolves, HQ, and Hong Kong Attitude.
Okay, AHQ and Flash Wolves have a chance. I think Flash Wolves is going to make it out.
I think Flash Wolves will, but not HQ.
Yeah, not HQ.
No.
I think EDG is going to make it out.
How many do we have so far?
I don't remember. I'm not really concerned about the proper number, honestly.
Right.
Because we don't even have all the teams locked in. I'm just trying to think of like who has the best chances to get out. Because next week we'll talk about.
You say EDG's gonna
EDG.
make it out?
Yeah, EDG.
Okay.
And then I think there's gonna be one wild card team that gets out. I don't know who it's gonna be, but I think a single wild card team will take a second place spot in one of their groups.
Do you want to say INTZ?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think that's,
my Brazilian boys are gonna get out.
I think
oh
that's one
my
of the
god.
only wildcard teams that's confirmed. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all right. What about you?
I will say for sure. I feel like I have it in my bones that I know Immortals, Longzhu, SKT. I don't think anyone from Europe is going to.
Right.
Immortals,
Fuck
Longzhu,
Europe.
SKT, Flash Wolves, EDG, and RNG for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's on TSM. I think it's more of
a that for as like an afterthought. I really like that. You're a true fan.
I was going to kind of stagger it with who might not.
I'm kidding. Okay.
I think if anyone will get knocked out.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible for WE or maybe even Hong Kong Attitude or Samsung or CLG to. I think they're going to play a big role in upsetting, as those teams always do.
Yeah.
I think CLG especially will end up upsetting lots of teams. But I feel like TSM, EDG, and RNG, and AHQ, they could get in, they could not, and it's really a toss-up. I'm praying.
A lot of this is a toss-up.
It's all a toss-up, yeah.
Everything's a toss-up at this point.
I'm praying that TSM makes it through. I just want to see how they are internationally. We'll see in a month.
Yeah.
The drawn phase,
the World starts on the 23rd, actually. So of September.
Does it?
Yeah, it starts on the 23rd this year.
Oh shit!
We don't have to wait till October.
I did not know that.
Yeah, group stage starts the 23rd.
I know that the draw is on, or is it the 10th or the 12th?
Dude, I wish I could tell you.
I think it's the 10th is the group draw, which will be very interesting. We'll be recording something right after that. On that Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which will be next week. So next Friday.
What do you mean?
When do we put these out?
I'm putting them out on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna record on Tuesday and put them out on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if it is the 10th, we'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be really interesting. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having
this
me.
week.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be here every week.
Yeah.
But this is gonna be the end of the first episode. This episode, I'm gonna make a point right at the end for anyone who's listening. We're kind of figuring this out as we go.
Brand new.
Keep in mind that as we're going forward.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and see if we can get it in a recording booth next time, because right now we're recording in my apartment. But I just want to thank everyone for joining, and if this is your stop, please press the button on the side, and then everyone, we're going to stop for a little while, and then we'll continue this train rolling next week. Thank you for joining us.
Choo choo.